Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother and sister, welcome back to Islamic Notes channel. The ups and downs of Maria Esther Roman's journey, a beautiful model who converted to Islam. Maria Esther Roman's journey to find Islam began when she was 20 years old. At that time, Maria was a college student. Maria got to know Islam through some of her Muslim friends. It was the first time for Maria to hear that there was a religion called Islam. Previously, Maria was a person who was thirsty for curiosity. That's why she started asking a lot of questions about the new religion. To her Muslim friends, Maria often asked questions and they were happy to answer them. The more she asked, the more convinced Maria was of the truth in Islam, until she decided to convert after studying it for only 4 months. But it wasn't easy for Maria to change who she had always been. It wasn't because she didn't want to change, but because of the way people had always viewed her. It was very difficult to convince them of the changes that had happened to her. It turns out that Maria used to be a model since she was 14 years old. Maria really liked that world. However, the more successful she became as a model, she felt something was wrong. Something was missing that she herself did not know what it was. In one show, Maria was lost in thought in the dressing room. She didn't know what her next step was after she graduated from college. So one day, Maria visited a friend and poured out her worries. As she was about to leave, Maria's friend said, "Don't worry, Maria. Think about where you should be. God will guide you to guidance." And as soon as her friend finished speaking, Maria opened the door and left. Maria felt as if she was greeted by a bright light. Maria took her friend's words as an answer. So she decided to embrace Islam. Maria's parents were so shocked by her decision. They didn't understand why Maria made such a decision. Over the years, Maria's parents began to accept their daughter's decisions. Her mother would cook special dishes for Maria if there was pork in the dish. Maria was also often reminded to wear a headscarf whenever there were guests. Islam has melted Maria's heart towards her parents. As a first-generation Puerto Rican Muslim, Maria understands and respects her parents' hard work. "I was fed up with the life I was living before, and now I have finally found peace. Alhamdulillah, I had a choice and I took it. Islam taught me to be humble," Maria said. Maria Esther Roman, I found peace in Islam. What I am experiencing now began when I was 20 years old. At that time, I was still a student. I heard about Islam from some of my Muslim friends. That was the first time I knew that there was such a religion. Because of my curiosity and also because I began to question the truth of my religion, Catholicism, I began to study Islam. I asked my friends some questions. They always answered every question I had. The more I learned and knew, the more my belief in the truth of this religion grew. The decision to embrace this religion came very quickly, in just 4 months. But it was not easy. Of course, it is not easy to change the identity that I have held all my life. Not because I don't want to, but because people have known me with that identity. It is difficult for me to convince them that my perspective, my interaction between men and women, etc., my appearance, etc., will change completely. I have been in the modeling world since I was very young, when I was 14 years old, and somehow I loved it. I loved being the center of attention. I loved the competition, the glamour, and the makeup. With all my achievements and successes in that field, I somehow felt something was wrong. There was something missing, but I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't know what made me feel empty. But not long after that, I felt calm and at peace with my current condition as a Muslim woman. Embracing Islam. I have considered several options for myself. I remember I was wearing my graduation gown, and I said to myself, "What am I going to do after this?" Then the next day I visited my friend and poured out all my worries to her. When I was about to go home, she ended her advice by saying, "Don't worry, Maria. Remember what you have been through and where you are going. God will surely guide you with the light of his guidance." As he finished his sentence, I opened the door to leave his house. When I opened the door, the strong sunlight shone on me. I interpreted it as the answer to my anxiety. At that moment, I decided to embrace Islam. In that place, at that moment. Family and friends' reactions. As I predicted, my parents were shocked by what had happened to me. They couldn't understand why I made such a decision, but they tried to calm themselves down so as not to overreact to it. After a few years, my parents finally began to understand and accept the reality of me. When they cooked pork, my mother made a special menu for me. She also always told me to wear hijab at home when there were guests visiting. In addition, Islamic teachings also made me more obedient to my parents. I began to understand and appreciate their hard work as the first generation of Puerto Ricans to immigrate to America. Many of my friends tried to persuade me to change my stance from Islam. But I always asked Allah for steadfastness, and Allah helped me. I have no regrets, and God willing, will never regret my choice. I was fed up with my previous life, and now I have truly found peace. Alhamdulillah, I have the opportunity, and I have chosen and utilized the opportunity. Islam makes me a humble person. I feel more modest, and my purity is more protected. Lesson 1. Islam is a religion that brings peace if its adherents study and practice it. 2. Guidance needs to be sought. It is not right for someone to say, "I am not pious," blame Allah for not guiding me to be a pious person. I do not embrace Islam, just protest to Allah. Because those who are honest and earnest in wanting guidance, Allah will definitely give it. As His word says, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ سُبُلَنَا وَإِنَّ اللَّهَ لَمَعَ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. And those who strive to seek our pleasure, we will truly show them our ways. And verily, Allah is truly with those who do good. QS Al-Ankabut 69. 3. People who are inclined towards Islam need to be approached and increasingly introduced to Islam. The importance of a Muslim to know his religion. Non-Muslims who want to know Islam, of course they will ask about Islam. Being born as a Muslim does not mean that one has known Islam. Therefore, it is necessary to study Islam. 5. Apart from trying, we must also ask Allah to guide us towards obedience and istiqomah in it. 6. Islam makes a person's behavior better. Guidance is the main cause of safety and goodness of human life in the world and the hereafter. So whoever is made easy by Allah Ta'ala to achieve it, then truly he has achieved great fortune and no one will be able to harm him. Allah Ta'ala says, مَنْ يَهْدِ اللَّهُ فَهُوَ الْمُهْتَدِي وَمَنْ يُضْلِلْ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. Whoever is guided by God, then he is the one who is guided in all the good things of this world and the hereafter. And whoever God leads astray, they are the losers in this world and the hereafter. QS Al-Araf 178.